Hello, hello, good people. How's everyone doing? Trust that everyone is doing well out there. I am Chris Bridges. Thanks for tuning in. Um, as always, as I discuss my financial journey, maybe I could share something to help you out. Maybe I could say something to encourage you to get in the game if you're not in the game. Whatever the case may be, hopefully I can introduce you to something that can help you along your financial journey, along building your financial knowledge, and along with building your financial wealth. Okay, with that being said, it is Friday evening, Friday night, um, summertime, so it's vacation time. It's vacation time for me and mine, so we'll be hitting the road in the morning, going on our journey for the next 8 days. So with that being said, I'm dropping something now. I'll try to post it sometime tonight or in the morning to make up for I probably won't get a chance to get on here Sunday evening at 5. So doing what I can to keep it going. Want to say I appreciate all the comments. My friends have been sharing me about the things I could do to uh, bolster my channel. And quickly here are my thoughts. There are some things I know I can do, but it would take, in my opinion, from based on my knowledge, it would take me a little time, more time than I have to put in right now, more time than I'm willing to invest right now to you know. So one of these days I'll have the time to be able to do those things. But in the meantime, I'm still gonna keep on sharing, right? For better or worse, gotta keep going, gotta keep pushing, gotta keep working. So anyway, I was thinking earlier on today, a couple days this week, what I want to talk about this week, and there's so much going on, so much going on. A lot of my mentors, excuse me, a lot of the mentors that I follow on YouTube have been putting out some pretty good uh, knowledge and information on this week to help folks along their financial journey, right? We are all on the financial journey. If you are in this game of investing, if you are in the game of trading, if you are in the game of utilizing the stock market and utilizing the crypto market, right? So crypto has really have some great buying opportunities over about the past probably 9, 10 days or so. I mean, Bitcoin right now is under 65K. And if you don't know, Bitcoin is the number one crypto. Most folks are saying, I know that. Well, if you know, you know. If you don't, it's good to know. Bitcoin is the number one crypto. You can't lose with Bitcoin. You just have to understand about being able to identify a good buying window and be consistent with your investing into Bitcoin or purchasing of Bitcoin. You want it, whether you're doing it daily, whether you're doing it weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, but you have to be consistent to build your position. And it's best to buy it when it's beat down in the red, right? Well, anyway, Bitcoin is below 65. And someone may say, that's really high. Well, if you didn't get it in crypto winter when it was down to 15K and 16K and worked its way back up to 30 something K, then 40 something K, then 50 something K, run all the way up to 70 something K, then 65 is probably, the best we're going to get, right? And if you put in a little research and you understand that it's subject to run to 80K or better, then, that's 15K, right? That's, someone may say, well, but I don't have a whole Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. Whatever the percentage it runs from 65 to 80, whether you have 100 in, 200 in, 500 in, 1,000 in, 30,000, whatever amount you have invested, it's going to run that same percentage on top of whatever your investment is. So you can't lose, right? So Ethereum has been a great opportunity to buy Ethereum, right? Somebody again might say, well, that's high. Big Ethereum, after the last halving, when Bitcoin hit its all-time highs, Ethereum used to routinely sit between 35 to 45K. This time around, it's expected to go between 65 to 10K. So is it worth me getting? Is it worth anyone picking up some Ethereum right now? Well, one thing you have to remember is the number 2 cryptocurrency. Out of 22,000 cryptocurrency, it's the number 2. It's not going anywhere. It's a sure bet, right? It's a sure risk, right? In the game of investing, it's all about taking a risk, putting your portion of your money to work, putting it at risk, and allowing it to go to work and grow your money. That's what a Bitcoin and Ethereum will do, right? Again, when it comes to crypto, it's about understanding the cycle. So, you have 4-year cycles, and in the 4-year cycles, you have 2 seasons. You have crypto winter, and then you have run-up season. You have 2.5 years of crypto winter, 12 to 18 months of run-up. We are already in the run-up season. What does that mean? That means it's a good time to buy crypto, and then knowing when to exit your position or exit a portion of your position. Don't be left being the bag holder. What is a bag holder? Bag holder is you buy it, you watch it run up, and when it begins to go to crypto winter, you don't understand that it's now exiting run-up season and going back into crypto winter, and you continue to hold it, fall down a little bit, it's coming back, it's coming back. It's going into hibernation. It's about to go to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. So I just wanted to touch base. It's a great opportunity in crypto. It's a great opportunity in the stock market. NVIDIA just did its split, right? 10-for-1 split. So that was a good thing if you already had it. It was a good thing if you don't have it. It was what, 122, somewhere thereabout. Great opportunity to get in it. It's expected to double or triple over the next 1 to 2 years, right? 2 to 3 years, whatever it takes. You got to be a little patient, give your money an opportunity, some time to work, right? Chipotle is going to be having a split. I believe it's in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. You can look up Stocks with Josh. He's been having great information this week. You can look up Stock Mode. He's been putting out great info this week. You can look up Larry Jones, Stock Up with Larry. He's been putting out great information. Keaton Grace, he's been putting out great information. Smart Money Bro, he's been putting out great information. Who's the other person that was on top of my tongue? Chris Zane been putting out great information, and the list goes on and on. But those are just a few of my favorites. So, some questions that I have, some questions or some pointers I wanted to touch on. Had a few folks ask me on this week. When should you sell? And I've heard what Wall Street Traffic been having to say and what my mentors have to say. So here's what I have to say. When should you sell? Well, a wise person said that you never need anyone's permission to take profit, right? And I'm always talking about having strong positions, right? And the purpose of having a strong position is so when you sell, you can sell in waves, right? We don't know exactly how high something is going to go. We can put in the research, put in the work, and we can see the potential of where it has the potential to go. But none of us has a crystal ball. We don't know exactly what it's going to do. But when you have a great idea, a good idea, the potential, what it's going to do, if it runs up in crazy profit, then it's a good time to take some profit. And if you have a strong enough position, you can set off maybe a quarter of your position, right? Take some profit off the table, right? Continues to go up, another 10%, take another quarter, right? You still have half of your position left. It's up to you how long you want to hold it, what have you. You might decide to sell it all, leave it in your buying power, and whenever it takes a nosedive, get back in, right? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So when is a good time to sell? Anytime you're up in profit is always a good time to sell. When I say sell, I don't mean sell your whole position unless that's what you strongly feel led to do. But it's always a good time to sell when you're in profit. Take some profit off the table. You can always repurchase, re-put it back in when it takes a dip, right? So when it's a good time to sell? Anytime is a good time to sell if you're in profit, right? And profitable for one might not be profit for another because you may have, missed that great buying window and took the, another buying window. So that all depends on, your how much profit gains you are in at that time, right? So if you're in gains, you're in profit, it's a good time to take some profit. Whether you take some or all is up to you. Your hard-earned money, you get to choose what, how, and when you do with it. Another question came up multiple times this week. When, my notes is messed up, but I know what I was saying. The question was, when should you pull money out? This is my personal opinion. I am not a financial advisor. In my personal opinion, one should only pull money out when you have somewhere to deploy that money. You have some reason to deploy that money other than allowing it to work for you in the stock market and crypto. What are some of those reasons? Some reasons I would say why I would want to pull money out. There's a situation going on and I need some money to remedy a situation. I need some money to eliminate some debt, or I need some money to replace. Maybe I need a new house for whatever reason. Old house burned down, or I never had a house and I'm ready to get a house, and I need to pull some money out of my portfolio to down payment, or I need down payment on my car, or the engine blew up in the car, or whatever the case may be. As long as you have a reason to pull that money out and put them dollars to work elsewhere. If you don't have a reason to pull the money out, then it's all about selling and putting into a better position, taking advantage of a better buying opportunity. Otherwise, let the money continue to work until you need it, right? That's my opinion. So if you're on top of your funds, if you're on top of your expenses, then your regular income should be more than adequate to satisfy your cost of living. And then you have your 2000 emergency fund. So if you have a situation that exceeds that, then that would be a reason to pull money out of your portfolio to satisfy a circumstance or a situation that's going on in your life. That's my opinion. So, was talking about you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent if you're, excuse me, if you have, for whatever reason, you're drawn to a stock, if you've been watching the performance, if you've been reading the charts, whatever the case may be, when there's a stock that speaks strongly to you and you want to get in on it, right? Well, if it speaks strongly to you and you want to get in on it, then you should be consistent in building that position, right? If you're not consistent in building that position, then you're not really feeling strongly toward that particular stock or crypto. Conversation I had with a good friend of mine this week. This was just terminology that two guys could follow, right? And he had this crypto that he was telling me about, and I remember he told me about it a few weeks ago. And when he showed it to me, it was a good buy-in window. I didn't know anything about it. That's one. Two, I was already spread pretty deep, right? So I didn't need to take on a new crypto that I have not, had any inclination about, right? So I wanted to continue to build strong positions of the deep line of coins that I already have, right? So I didn't need to add another coin in, which is going to just add to my process of how I build. I have a process of how I go about doing things, and I didn't need to add that to my lineup, right? It's got to be pretty impressive to me for me to add something to my lineup. It's got to be impressive. I got to see. It's got to be one, something I'm familiar with. Two, the buy-in window is an excellent opportunity, and it has tremendous room for growth. Okay, I'm willing to add it to my list. This was not a bad crypto, and he was saying how he's, I feel strongly about this. So I say, so when did you buy it? He said, I don't know. I think it was like a week ago. I said, hold on, pull it up. He pulled up his crypto.com. We scrolled down to the history, and I saw he had it about 3 weeks now. So I laughed. I said, if you really felt as strongly about this as you're trying to imply to me, I don't know who you're trying to convince, me or you. When I scroll down and I see it's been 3 weeks since you had this and you only bought it once, right? The buying window was pretty good. It was under 70 cents, right? I'm not gonna even mention the name of the crypto. I'm not gonna promote it. I don't want nobody to go jump in unless it's something that speaks to you. I'm not gonna bring it up. So it was like 67 cents, and he had dropped like $10 in it one time 3 weeks ago. I said, okay, I know where you work at. I know how you're living. Now, if this really spoke to you, then you would not have treated it like a one night stand. I'm gonna let that simmer right there. A one night stand, well, bam, thank you, ma'am. If it's something you're strongly interested in, you find time to spend time with that individual. You don't mind taking them out to eat, taking them to a movie, what have you. You took this crypto out one night on a cheap date to McDonald's. Okay. Being consistent. Being consistent means you're investing on a regular basis. Whether you're doing it daily, whether you're doing it weekly, whether you're doing it bi-weekly, whether you're doing it once a month. $10 once a month, that's not a lot of love. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. If you're interested in a crypto, if you're interested in a stock, you want to build a good, strong position. And let me tell you, $10 is not a strong position. If you were buying stock or crypto, way less than a cent, 6 zeros and then numbers, way less than a cent, and you only invest $10 in it one time, you're not too serious about that being you're not serious about that particular stock or crypto to add to your financial wealth. Because if you were, you would be trying to build a strong position. How much is a strong position? That's up to every individual. I can't speak for anyone else. What I can say, I know I've shared this before. When I first bumped into crypto, I had a friend telling me about, get into crypto. I'm like, hey, I just got to start. Let me learn stock first. No, you need to be messing with both. So I didn't tell him, but I made my strategy up. My strategy is I was gonna find me 2 dirt cheap cryptos, put a few dollars in it, and then watch the performance. And that's what I did. I watched the performance for 9 months, right? So in one I had like $17, in the other I had $19. I didn't pay attention how many coins I had of each one. I was just putting a few dollars in and watched the performance, right? So I watched the performance go from 19 in one position, 17 in the other. I seen it fall down to 7. Seen them rise as high as 37. I say there's nothing too impressive to crypto about me. They say, oh, it runs so hard, whatever. I wasn't impressed. Well, 9 months later, went to bed one night, and the next morning I woke up, and the $19 position was $2,200. Okay, what cryptocurrency was that? That was Dogecoin. And when I bought it, I cannot remember how much it was. I know it was less than a cent. And it ran from less than a cent to 70 cents. And my $19 grew up into $2,200 9 months later. So what that taught me, what that taught Christopher is, any crypto that I get in, I don't stop until I get to at least $100 of my hard-earned money into it. And however long I got to wait, however long I have to be patient, is what I'll be to see what kind of return I get. It's called taking a risk in the market. Taking a risk. How much are you willing to take a risk? Well, you say how strong a position should you have? In my opinion, no less than 100. But if I'm really turned on to one, if I'm really interested, if I really feel strongly, then my intent is to get it to $1,000, get it to 1,000, right? I was listening to Chris Sain the other day, and he was telling me about his positions. He liked to get things to 1,500. That's his go-to number. It's like, wow, I want to get to that point. I'm not to that point. Yes, I did say I like to get my stuff to 1,000. Well, uh, what I can say to support how when I feel strongly about something, I have multiple crypto positions where I have over 1,000, right? Because I feel strongly of what it can do for me, what it can do for my family, what it can do for my financial wealth, right? But that's me. I have multiple stock positions that are over 1,000, but I have tons of crypto positions that are right around 500 or 600 or 300. I have quite a few stocks that are around a few hundred, right? But things that I feel strongly about are well over 1,000, right? That's just my opinion of building a good, strong position. And again, that would vary from how much the coin or the stock costs. You know, some like Bitcoin right now is 65K. Don't have a lot of coins, but I have a strong investment, right? Strong position. Just trying to prove a point about building a strong position. What's a strong position? That's every individual based off their budget, their pocket, and how strongly they feel about something. Okay. I already talked about selling off and taking profit in waves and stages. Whether you sell a quarter or you sell quarter 1/4, right? Or you know, you have something and it runs up crazy like Nvidia. Excuse me. When I picked up Nvidia like well over a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, what have you, somewhere there about, I don't know exact date. I could pull it up, but to me it's not that important. I'm just making a point. When I picked it up, it was $195. Now, at that time, I was already dropping in $200 at that time. At that particular day, I was dropping in $200 into my portfolio, into my buying power, right? And multiple of my mentors on YouTube were saying it's a great opportunity to buy Nvidia. So I pulled it up, saw it at $195. I said, it's a great opportunity, but in my mind, it wasn't a great opportunity for me. It didn't fit my strategy. My strategy was at that time to accumulate stock and crypto that I was familiar with and that I know could run hard, had tremendous room for growth, repeating its old all-time high. So I wanted something under, south of 100, so I can accumulate a nice, strong position throughout crypto winter or throughout the market being beat down. So Nvidia didn't fit that, in my opinion. It was $195. But I had so many of my mentors talking about it in a matter of a week that I said, okay, Crystal, now if you feel strongly about all of these folks and they're all saying the same thing, maybe we need to make an exception for this. So, like I said, I was adding 200 at the time, and that was only going to get me one share, and I didn't want one share, and I didn't want to continue to build it over a period of time. I just wanted to drop a chunk in it. Went to my portfolio, looked around, looked at some positions that were performing quite well. Sold a couple shares here, a couple shares there, a couple shares here. Freed up like what I freed up. I freed up enough to pick up 8 shares, right? So I picked up 8 shares. Didn't have 195 times 8 in my back pocket, but I didn't have it like that. But I'm showing you the as you accumulate wealth in your portfolio, that's buying power, right? You get your portfolio up over 50,000, you get your portfolio up over 100,000. That's buying power. That's buying power on top of what you're adding on a regular basis by being consistently investing. Whether you're doing it again daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, you're adding those funds to your portfolio. Where you have those funds available, you have whatever amount of total buying power you have sitting in your wallet, right, in your account, as well as the overall growth of your portfolio. You can go to stocks that you have that I can't speak for anyone else but me. Some stocks I get into for the simple purpose of it look like it's running, it's a great price, it's a great window. I'll drop some money in it over a period of time, maybe over a couple of months, see what it's going to do for me. And if it runs up, $500, $1,000, $2,000, I'll sell it because it's not a stock that I feel strongly about. It's something I've been watching. I see a great buying opportunity. I have the funds available. I take advantage of it to help build my wealth, right? So when I see a buying opportunity into stocks or crypto that I do feel strongly about, I go to those stocks that I got into because it was on a run, pull my profit and put it to better use. As I was saying earlier, when should you sell? You should sell when you're in profit, right? And what should you do with it? You should buy better and better stock, better and better crypto. First got in, I was working with dirt cheap stock, 17-cent stock, but I was buying things that I knew mankind needed to exist. I was buying energy, I was buying water. Energy and water was very kind to me. And as I went up, I would buy better and better stock. As my portfolio was growing in funds, I would take and pivot. I would put the money, sell it when I'm up in profit here, put it into something better. And I graduated from dirt cheap level to cheap level to a little bit, and I just graduated and graduated so I can accumulate stuff like Amazon, stuff like Google, stuff like Microsoft, stuff like Apple, and the list goes on and on, right? On and on and on. Okay, I'm not a rapper, so all right. What else do I have on my talking points? Reference how you accumulate nice returns, how you accumulate nice profit, right? How you build your wealth. Okay, many ways to do that. I started out talking about the number one crypto, which is Bitcoin. I talked about how Bitcoin and crypto winter. Crypto winter was 2.5 years, right? So basically, we had from the last half, it was in 2020. So you had a year and a half, so that would have took you all of 2020, 12 months from the halving into 2021, right? So the stock market started crashing, in my opinion, 31 November 2021. Some wise people say it started crashing 1 January 2022. According to my portfolio, it started crashing 31 November, right? In my opinion. So that was about the same time crypto started going into crypto winter, right? So from, let's say, December 1st, 2021 through to the end of 2022. No, because you had 2.5 years. So 23. So from 21 to somewhere through the end of 2023, great opportunities in crypto because it was falling asleep. It was in crypto winter. It was hibernating, right? So what I was getting to, what I was alluding to, Bitcoin fell as low as 15.9, right? So if you were hitting heavy from when it started falling from 68K, my strategy was I didn't start buying until it was 59K. And when it was 59K, I was doing $25 a week. Somebody may say that's nothing. Well, my wise mentor Larry Jones was saying crypto is going into crypto winter, and you have 2.5 years to accumulate. So you could be buying small chunk size bites at a time. And at the time, I was periodically buying. But when my main mentor, my main source of building my financial wealth is Larry Jones, and when he put that seed in my head, just small chunks on a daily basis, I said, I can do that. I got my side hustle, I can do that. So I started doing $25 a week into Bitcoin, and I did it for a solid 2.5 years, right? But it gets better. I was doing the $25 a day. I had made up my strategy was to do at least 25 a week. Well, I was pretty much doing 25, but probably 25 a day. If I wasn't doing 25 a day, I was at least doing 25 on Fridays, and I was doing anywhere from 10 to 15 every day, right? And then my strategy was to do that, and anytime it fell a total of 10K, to grab a couple of $100 savings, drop it into Bitcoin, right? So that means when it fell from 59K to 49K, I dropped in a couple of $100, right? When it fell from 49K to 39K, I dropped in a few $100. When it fell to 29K, I didn't just drop in a couple of $100. I went to my list of stuff that was performing well that I was not strongly into, didn't have a strong connection to. And if it was in profit, I was selling it and dropping it into Bitcoin as it was falling, right? So then when it fell from 29 down to the low 20s, I added a couple of hundred. I sold some more stuff that was, I was selling everything that I thought, hey, this is not going to make me real money. This is going to make me real money. I have 2.5 years to accumulate. I need to be hitting this as hard as I can. That's a nugget for whoever caught it, right? Accumulation. When is the time to accumulate crypto? Crypto winter, right? You got 2.5 years. Now, when you're on top of your funds and you get to a point where you're already wealthy, right? When you have a net worth of 1 million, then you don't have to do the chasing of dropping a few a day. You just watch it, and when it makes huge drops, you just drop in a chunk, right? You make up your mind how much of your wealth you're going to deploy in Bitcoin throughout crypto winter, and you just periodically chip away at that whatever amount that is you set in your head, right? Okay, everybody's not at that point, but as you grow in this game, you get to a point to when it's in crypto winter, you have a certain amount you want to put into each coin because you know what that coin has done for you over the last 2 run-up seasons. If you haven't had a run-up season, okay, that's over your head. You don't know what I'm talking about. You can put it in your memory bank, and when the opportunity comes in and it makes sense, then you put that knowledge to use. But you will learn when you go through a few run-up seasons, when you go through at least 2 run-up seasons, there won't be nothing you need anyone to tell you about crypto. You will understand how hard the cycles run, how much of a financial blessing it could be to you, and you'll know how hard you want to hit that specific coin. And each year, as new meme coins come up, you're like, oh, hey, that's one I want to get on. Hey, that's one I want to get on. Pepe came out, everybody was talking about it. Oh, it ain't going to do nothing. And it just kept running. So I got into Pepe. I rinsed and repeat with Pepe a few times. Pepe has been pretty good to me. I had some issues with my car a couple of times. I made some bad decisions. It was raining. I had a flat tire. I was lazy about how I went about changing the flat tire. And it went from a flat tire to like $1,100 worth of work. Didn't want to pay it out of my pocket. I said, I'm going to my portfolio. It was either put it on a credit card or go to my portfolio. I had some things that were doing quite well because I invested throughout the entire crypto winter. And it's been good to me. Okay, so reference how you accumulate nice returns. If you bought Bitcoin at 15.9 when it ran up to 63, you could take some profit. Whether you had half a coin Excuse me. Whether you had a whole coin or whether you had multiple coins, you could have took some profit off the table, right? And then when it fell back down to the 50s, rinse and repeat, get back in. I did. When it ran up to 73, 74, I think it ran up to 75, take some profit off the table. When it fall back down to low 60s, get back in. What should I do? Should I buy a whole nother coin? That's up to you. But you want to get back in, ride it back up, rinse and repeat. You have 12 to 18 months to do so. Okay, leave that alone. Ethereum. Ethereum is the number 2 crypto coin I pointed out earlier. Ethereum, throughout crypto winter, fell as low as $899. $899. As I said earlier, it used to sit between $3,500 and $4,500 last run-up season. $3,500, $3,500 to $4,500 on a regular basis. And it fell down to $899. I already had two and a half coins as it was falling. And when it got down to 1,000, I got pretty aggressive. It fell down to $899. I was looking where I could pull. I was very aggressive. I was hungry. I was like, it's like mom, mom tell you she just cooked your favorite meal. You on the phone, she just cooked your favorite meal. Okay, you got off work, you got out of school, you was zooming home. You didn't pass go. You went from A, wherever it was you was at, work or school, and you went home to that favorite meal, right? Well, when Ethereum got down to $899, I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to hold this all the way through our crypto winter. And when it run back up to 45, and then I was hearing how it's supposed to go to 65 to 10K, well, didn't exactly do it that way, right? I ended up with multiple coins. It ran up to 1,800. My money had doubled. And I seen other buying opportunities in other stock and crypto that I wanted to take advantage of. So I started taking profit from my Ethereum. Some might say, but you knew better. You could say that, but I was up in crazy profit. My money had doubled, and I had quite a few coins. I had things going on at the time where, I had a nice portfolio at the time. And I had money I could move around, and I knew what it could do for me. These are things that you will learn as you stay in this game, as you grow your financial knowledge. Okay, let me backtrack something that I don't say a lot. If you just want to play it safe, if you don't want to really grow your financial knowledge, but you want to make some money off the stock market, you love your job, you still want to work for, till you're 59 and a half, so be it. You can just get into the S&P 500, or one of my favorite ETF would be VOO. That's Vanguard's version of the S&P. It's an ETF. What is that? That's like a bucket of stocks all rolled in one. It's the top 500 stocks across the entire stock market, right? And so you can't lose with it, but it's just a little bit slower way to make outstanding money. But, with your compound interest, and the way it constantly goes up over time, you start investing now, depending on how old you are. A decade, you're going to be smiling. 2 decades, you're going to have a fatter smile. 3 decades, and this if you just do a minimum of $100 a month into VOO for multiple decades, you'll be as ecstatic as most folks was with their Nvidia. You'll be ecstatic as most folks were with their Apple when Apple runs hard. You'll be ecstatic as some folks were with their Amazon. The name of the game is, and the point of the matter is, if you just invest in VOO for multiple decades, you will be a happy trooper. So that's one way to have nice return, nice gains. I used Ethereum, the illustration of Ethereum. I used the illustration of Bitcoin, the 1 and 2 cryptos. Excuse me. And I will also use NVIDIA, right? I told you how I got picked up NVIDIA at 195. NVIDIA ran up to 900. Well, bought it, 8 shares. It ran up to 550. I sold half my position, right? A few weeks later, it was up to $900. I said, well, if it dropped back down, I'll pick up some more. So it dropped back down to 450 something, right? And I picked up 4 more coins to get me back to my original A position. And then what it do? It ran up to $1,200, right? So of course I sold a couple. Well, I take it back. Around 970 something, I sold a couple. And my mentors were saying once it goes to 1,000, they're going to do a split. I said, well, they're saying this, but they don't own the company. Sold another share. And then boom, it hit that 1,000 with a little bit above 1,000. They had their earnings and they announced they were going to do a split and put a dividend on it and what have you. So, you know, NVIDIA has been good for everybody who's in it. Whether you got in it at 195, 250, 350, or even 450. When it ran up to 1,200, it didn't matter what you bought it at, you were a smiling camper, right? Because even if you bought it at 550 and when it went to 1,100, your money still doubled. Double is double, right? So, said all that to say, this is how you make nice returns in the stock market, nice return in crypto. Being able to identify, doing a little research, being able to identify a good buy-in window. And then once you get in, you don't stop. You continue to drop smaller chunks of change. And anytime it's a red day, a big dip, a double-digit dip, 10% or better, you want to hit it as hard as you possibly can. So when it do go on a run, you'll be a happy camper, right? When Tesla ran from 2020, and I don't need a chart to tell me this because I watched it with my own eyes. I didn't follow it. I thought I had time. So when I started investing, Tesla was $72. 9 months later, it was $900. And I was scratching my head, how did I not catch it when it was running up? How did I not catch it when it ran from 72 to 100 or to 172 or to 272 or to 372? You would have think that somewhere along the way before it got to 900, it would have caught my attention. Not so, didn't have a clue, but it definitely got on my radar when it ran to 900, right? So since then, I have rinsed and repeated with Tesla multiple times. It has doubled my position multiple times. It did a split not too long ago, 4-for-1. I think it did that right around somewhere in between the window of Amazon doing their split and Google doing their split and Shopify doing their split. If you didn't catch that, that's another nugget. I love to talk about Amazon. I love to talk about Google. I love to talk about Shopify. Well, why you love Amazon? I live in Chatham County, Georgia. We have like 4 or 5 Amazon warehouses, and every last one of them are humongous. When we built the first one, I thought that was impressive. You blink your eye, and we had 2. I thought that was pretty good. You look, and there's 3. Then I found out there was a 4th one. I think I found out there was a 5th one, all in this little area. Okay, we do have one of the busiest ports in the world. I understand that. But that showed me, I'm glad I got the Amazon, and I'm glad I'm building my position, because if they're building warehouses like that, if you drive, if you have eyes, you see Amazon trucks everywhere, right? If you walk around, you see Amazon boxes sitting at everybody's house, and probably even your house, and probably multiple times a week. Out of every week of the year, you have them at your house. What am I saying? If you don't see a reason why to get on board with Amazon, then I guess Amazon is just not for you, right? Google owns YouTube. Let me say that again. Google owns YouTube. This avenue that we're utilizing right now, Google owns it. when we want to look up something on the wide world, on the internet, where do we go? We go to Google. Yes, Google is a bad boy. Been watching it since 2020. Been in it since 2021. I plan to never be out of Google. I plan to never be out of Amazon. I will always take profit from time to time, but I plan to never be out of those two things. Not as long as I see a need that the world needs to lean on it, I'll ride it, right? Okay. All right. So we were just talking about ways of how to make nice profits, nice return, nice gains in the market. What's a nice gain? Well, I just gave that illustration how Tesla ran from $72 to $900 to $1,100. That's what the stock market can do for you. So just imagine you have 10, or you had 10 shares of Tesla at around 125, and it went to 900. So if you had 10 at 125, let me get the calculator out. So 10 times 125. So you had $1,250 invested, $1,250 you had invested. Well, if that 125 went to 925 times 10, your 1,250 went to 9,250, and all you did was sit and be patient. But if you had double that amount, 20 because you felt strongly about it, or 30 because you felt strongly about it, and then you got to remember they did a split 4 for 1. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just showing you how to. I'm showing you how the stock market works, and that's if you're into something that has a dividend. That's just more on top of it, right? Okay, I gotta cut this. I had no intention of going this long. This is probably one of my longest video ever. But hey, when I get talking about the stock market, I can get lost on time. It's been very kind to myself. It's being very kind to my family, whether or not they know it. So hey, the stock market and crypto can really do great things in anyone's life if anyone is willing to take a risk, if you're willing to get off the bench and get in the game, if you're willing to be consistent, if you're willing to be patient, right? Now, I hear people that say, you should hold your stuff forever. You should hold your stuff for 10 years. I say it depends on the individual strategy and what it is you're trying to do. Know what you're trying to do, come up with a game plan, work your game plan. I'm working mine, and it's working out well for me. So some things I hold on to, and when it runs berserk, it's time to kiss and say goodbye. But when I kiss and say goodbye, I still continue to put the money to work into better and better stock positions, better and better crypto positions to let my wealth grow. And then when things happen in life, then I got to take some profit from multiple positions, because I'm not saying all of nothing unless, not going to do that, right? So I'm just talking about me, what I do, right? So I look at the ones that are performing exceptionally well. I look at the ones that are performing well. I look at the ones that are just borderline and barely making me something. And to me, it looked like it's pretty much done hit its cap, and it's not going to probably break outside that cap. I do a little research, and that I'm convinced that it's not going to break out of that cap for at least another year or two. It's made me money. Then let's kiss and say goodbye. Go ahead and take care of what I need to take care of. But those things that are doing great, take a small haircut. In other words, a small profit out of it, small profit out of a few of them. And you'd be amazed, when you take profit off of 3-4 positions that are doing great, you ain't got to take that much. And you look and you now have liquidated $5,000, $6,000, $11,000. He don't know what he's talking about. Okay, You just have to get in and play it for yourself. Had some crypto, had some things going on, and I needed a little changing, and I went to some positions, and I had a position. I'm gonna say what it was. It was Gala, right? I bought Gala throughout crypto winter, 2.5 years. Gala, when I first started buying it, was 5 cents. Throughout crypto winter, it fell as low as 2 cents. And I was putting into it daily. $5 here, $10 there, $20 there, whatever the case may be. But I was doing it daily. Every day that I made, if I made income outside of my regular job, then I put a portion of that money to work. Something my mentors say. One of my favorite mentors when it comes to putting your dollars to work. Smart Money Bro, Jasper Racine, Minority Report. And Smart Money Bro, Jasper Reed, another person who's Wall Street Travelers, to say you should be putting all of your army of dollars, each one should have an assignment. So my regular job has, that income has assignments, right? My number one side hustle, each portions have an assignment. My other side hustle job that I'm not always doing all the time is that the opportunity present itself. Each time, those army of dollars, they have an assignment, they have a job, right? And I deployed all of that for 2.5 years. So getting back to Gala, it had only gone up a couple cents. But because of the army of dollars that I had put to work, because of the size of the position, some people may look up and say, you don't need that much. Speak for yourself, right? I saw an opportunity. It had fallen, like I said, when I first got in it, 5 cents, all the way down to 2 cents. Its all-time high is 83 cents. Don't have a crystal ball. There's no guarantee it's going back to 83 cents. But it was in the top 200 crypto. That's rule of thumb. I'm not a financial advisor. Just a rule of thumb. If you're in the top 200, more or less, you're safe. There are 22,000. There are over 22,000. Again, let me say it again. There are over 22,000 cryptocurrencies. Top 200 is usually safe. You can go broader than that, but that's usually a safe zone, rule of thumb, right? And it was in the top 200, right? So in my mind, when Bitcoin hit its, somewhere in the run-up season, then Gala is probably going to run up somewhere, whether it runs to 83 cents or whether it hit new highs, or if it just goes to 50 cents. In my book, if it just goes to 27 cents and my average cost is 2 cents and I have a big enough number, that's how you make great gains in the market. That's how you make great gains in the market, where you can get in on something and it's really low and it has the opportunity to run. Not everything is an NVIDIA. Not everything is an Amazon. Not everything is a Google. Not everything is a Tesla. But everything has its rightful place and it has the potential to do what it can do. And if you have an opportunity to get in on something at a great buy-in window, and you have the army of dollars that you could put to work, that you could put to risk, that you could put a portion of your money to work for you. And when it goes to work in the market, it works when you sleep, it works when you're at your job, it works when you're riding down the street, it works when you're on vacation. It's always working. Let that sink in. It's always working. So, put a portion of your money to work. As I get ready to close, one of the guys I listen to, Robert Fame, Michael Fain, Robert Fain, old football player, what have you. He was talking about I like him, he can get real dramatic. His thumbnail, he was holding his head and saying the greatest opportunity in the world to build your wealth. What he was talking about is what everybody else been talking about this week. Great opportunity for buying. It's a great buying opportunity in stock. It's a great buying opportunity in crypto. Why? Because the markets were so beat down, right? Stock was so beat down. Crypto was so beat down. The market is getting ready to turn around. What are you talking about? It's an election year and it's just timing, right? It's going to turn around and there's going to be another semi crash because you're going to have, okay, I won't go into all that. I'll let somebody else who can explain it better. But you still have, we had to have in April, I think somewhere around the 24th, about the 3rd or the 4th Friday in April. And so after you have the halving, you have 12 to 18 months of run up. Yes, you have 12 to 18 months of run up. Somebody may look at it and say, man, it's been running real hard. It's been running. But notorious, you can do the research, 300 days after halving is usually when Bitcoin hit its highest peak. Normally 300 days. Don't have a crystal ball. Can't say history is going to repeat itself. But in the past, it's repeated itself. So that's what folks who really research crypto is anticipating. So you have time to still accumulate. You missed the boat of crypto one of getting it at really great prices, like when Ethereum was $8.99 or crypto of Bitcoin was $15.9. Those days are gone. Probably won't ever come back, right? We had there were things going on that drove things down as far as they went, right? You had multiple wars, you had the pandemic, you had all the free money, you had a lot of things going on that beat down the market, right? So you had buying opportunities that you don't have too often, such as now. If you've been watching Bitcoin for the last X amount of months, it's been from 30 in the 30s for a while, in the 40s for a while, in the 50s for a while, in the 60s for a while, ran up to 70 for a while. Said all that to say 15.9, that was a long time ago, and we probably won't see it again. But there are still opportunities. This is what the market can do for you. Okay, I'm gonna close it here. I'm right at an hour. I'm not well known enough to be at an hour, but I was enjoying myself. If you stayed in for the whole hour, thank you. If you didn't, I understand. No hard feelings. I won't be dropping anything until next weekend, so that's why I'm doing this now. Thanks for a moment to let me get away. You guys take care and be blessed continually, my friend.